In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast. Oh, man. So it's Friday. There's
Dongs
flying
and balls.
bees. There's dongs and balls on the thing. You guys definitely got some meat in the middle right
They're
now.
all in my mouth.
Johnny boy, what are we about to do?
We're about to masturbate,
You're
boys.
damn right. It's time for a Freedom Friends Master Debate, solving the world's problems one mediocre topic at a time. We are the Freedom Friends. That's Jazz. I'm Mikey. That's Scott. That's John. And with us is Jason Murph from Grow Your Ass Off. It's brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO. Score yourself that sweet, sweet 15% off. OWellness.us. That's a CBD company that we know and love. Use that code FreedomFriends25. That'll get you a quarter off your order over there. And of course, Icy Tech Coolers for those who get it. Go to icytech.com. Use that code FreedomFriends10. That gets you 10% off. And if you go over to grillyourassoff.com/FreedomFriendsPodcast, we also have an affiliate partnership with those guys. So yeah, come with it. Justin, what you got for us this week?
All right, boys.
All right,
boys.
I'm trying.
He's struggling it.
I'm trying.
He's good. You know what? You sound kind of hot, man.
Thank
Like
you.
I got like half a stock over here. Like, it's not bad.
It's like I don't even have to choke you at this point.
Yeah, man.
You've already
Do you remember that
been
Friends
choked.
episode where Phoebe lost her voice and was like
Fully
hotter for
erect.
some reason? That's what's happening. It's the Phoebe effect.
I've not seen that episode.
I believe you. I believe you. It was fucking made before you were born, probably. All right, what you got for us, buddy?
All right, boys.
All right, boys. Yeah.
So I want to know if the show gets to like Joe Rogan level, and I want to know, what are y'all doing?
The podcast.
Yeah, the podcast and nothing else. And nothing else.
Nothing else?
No.
Yeah, dude, if Spotify wants to give us that money, I'm quitting
Spotify,
everything.
you know how much it costs to sponsor to be one sponsor, one episode on Rogan? Yeah.
I don't.
I know a few years
I
ago
don't-
it was 45,000.
Yep.
I know a guy who just recently did it. I could probably ask, but yeah.
How's it? What do y'all fill in your extra time with? Like Rogan likes to go out and do like bow hunting and jujitsu and stuff.
Alien sex.
If you had time for whatever extracurriculars, what are you filling it with?
Clapping alien cheeks.
Probably the same thing that we fill our time, our extra time, the little amount that we have now with, right?
It's
Like,
doing it more
whiskey.
often.
like hunting, whiskey is definitely involved. Jazz, I'm like, you would probably just fucking play games all the time, like whatever you wanted.
Honestly, I
You
mean,
know, like
I wouldn't quit what I'm doing.
I don't think I'd quit
Like
working.
I'd keep running my store and I'd keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, I like doing this, but I mean, I'm assuming that if we're talking about that level, you're also talking about we'd have to go to like daily recordings and all of this kind of like where this was the full-time gig. And I don't know. I don't really have a desire to like be Joe Rogan famous where like I'm known everywhere. Like I don't have that desire.
The only desire I have that is Joe Rogan-esque is to get his quality of
guest and
Guest,
stuff.
yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
But
I
if
mean,
this turned into-
we're stuck with Jason.
Fuck me, right?
But God damn it!
But if this turned into like
if
a
we could get some
daily
actual
thing and it
guests.
was all this like had to schedule and do all that stuff, like where this was a job, and there, like that podcaster fame and shit came with, I'd probably quit. I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably quit the show.
Just like I'm out.
Hey, watch out, there's a media core guest passing me.
It just means you're right for the show.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't have this desire to be internet famous or whatever the fuck. It's just not a. It's not really
leads
like
me to
a
a
thing
follow-on
that I
question.
have. So
What comes first, Jazz quitting the show or the fame?
which would you prefer?
Jazz is open to either. He doesn't care.
Which one do you want?
I want neither.
Yeah.
I want you on the show and no fame.
I have.
I'm in with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
like,
into
if the
that.
show starts making like money where there was like a revenue stream that came from it,
Yeah.
like I'm all for
Jazz,
that.
I think we make like $10 a month.
Well, maybe more than that. But it all goes back into the show. I mean, like if the show made money to where the fact that like we were all getting a little piece of it and it was able to whatever go into a savings account or pay for a trip or funded one of my hobbies or whatever.
Ooh, pay for
I
a
have
trip.
a,
Great. But one of the things I like about this show is that I get to hang out with my friends and we get to have these conversations, and we've met a lot of really good friends outside of the show, and it does well. But this show for me is a break from my job. Yeah. If this show became a job, I don't think I'd want to do it anymore.
But I don't think Joe Rogan looks at it as a job. I think he really enjoys doing it.
Well, which is awesome when you can do that as a celebrity before you start the show.
That's true. Which is the reason he's successful, though, too.
Like when we started this, I mean, we all know why we started it, and one of the things that kept us going was during COVID. This was our break from the COVID bullshit. We got to all hang out and
really help.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think that continues to this day. That like Monday nights we get to hang out and drink whiskey and smoke cigars and have fun.
Yeah.
If it got to a point where it was just like, fuck, I got to go do the podcast, I don't think any of us would, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the paycheck would be nice, but
not necessary.
It goes along with everything else. Like, okay, what sacrifices do I have to make in order to be able to continue to do at that level?
I mean, it's the whole reason I have my other podcast. I don't expect that my other podcast actually make me any money or do anything, but it lets me hang out with my friends and talk about something that I'm passionate about. And it's the same thing here. I get to hang out with my friends and smoke cigars and drink and
tell dick and fart jokes.
But the thing is that
and poo-poo jokes.
We were doing this before we put mics here. There's nothing really
called a podcast.
And it damn sure was not on a Monday night.
but it could have been.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because it was literally a Tuesday afternoon conversation.
Yeah.
That we just were like, we should record these. We were like, fuck it.
So I mean, I guess all the money and stuff is attractive, but for me, if we ever got to that level, what would I do? Probably what I'm doing now the rest of my time, and I don't think I'd be on the show.
2 chicks at the same time.
Eiffel Tower.
Or if I ever still be here.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be on it anymore.
Yeah, I would still support veteran nonprofits and hero sports, and I would still, But you got to remember, I'm also retired, like already. Like I already have a pension. Like I'm just waiting for Haley to make that special number. Once she does, I'm out, boys. There will be signs.
Just a cat, man.
You're all going to see me a lot. Like, you know, like, so.
So I have a different question. If y'all could get one guest on the show, who would it be? And what's the question you ask him? And for Murph, who's one person you'd want to partner with Girl Your Ass Off, and what product would you want to make? Chaz, you want to kick it off?
One guest I could have on the show.
In one question. Joe Rogan, why the fuck haven't you pimped our podcast?
That'd be a short answer.
It'd be like who? Micro content.
You'd be like, you guys got famous off a poop joke. Fuck out of here.
The thing is that we're not even we're not famous. We had one video that did well, and then all of our videos after that went right back to like 3,000 views. Like
the funny thing is like
we're not famous.
Like that is a fucking. That's the piece of content that went fucking viral.
Out of all the
fuck?
All the shit that we talked about that actually had meaning.
We've had good shit on the show.
It just got around, and it was whatever. It just happened to be the magic algorithm and the magic content for 60 seconds, and it was great for 24 hours, and now it's gone. Nobody's going to talk about it anymore. So
I'm going to follow this up with a question for the audience. If we could have one guest, who would you want it to be?
And tag them.
Tag
the fuck out of them.
Because I'm open. I don't
know, Jez, who do you think you would like to have a conversation with?
Most people aren't going to probably know who the fuck I'm talking about, but there's an author named Brandon Sanderson.
Okay.
I would love to talk to Brandon Sanderson. He's a very prolific author. He's wrote a ton of books, and they're all interconnected. I'd love to talk to him just because of the way his mind works, and there is a lot of social reflection that's in his writing that you can definitely tell, and he tackles a lot of topics, and he's done very well for himself. But on top of that, he could absolutely hang it up and just be an author, but he's also a full-time professor at a university. So it's not even like what we were just talking about. If the show got huge, you could just do this. What would you? And he didn't. He did get huge and is this incredibly famous author, and still didn't give up the idea that he still had more to do. So I'd love to talk to him. And the one question would honestly be, where do you put the priority? Like, how do you decide when it's time to write and when it's time to teach? And he's also got a wife and kids, and from all indicators, all of that's super healthy. So it's just
he's mastered time management. I see.
Well, and it's how did you decide? How did you decide? What's your priority list, and how did you balance that? Because he's nailed it, and so it kind of turns into, I'd like to know what the decision was. Because he's an incredibly famous author, but I'm telling you right now, if he walked into any room that anybody was standing in, there'd be nobody that recognized him.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan, and I follow the rest of his stuff. I think he could walk in this room right now, and it would take me a minute to figure out who the fuck he was.
Like, sup,
Or
bro?
are we talking people who are still alive?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay. So,
Well, they'd have to be a guest. So
yeah.
I mean, they could be. It'd just be a little
Just
weird.
seance
It'd be a
show.
one-sided conversation.
I swear to God, he's here. I swear.
Miss Cleo said so.
You're a Libra, aren't you, darling?
John, who you got?
I don't fucking know.
Oh.
I wasn't thinking. I was listening.
Jason, you got anything?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay.
So you like getting interrupted?
Yeah.
Well, he's been pretty good at it tonight.
That would be a great guest to have on. If like I had a whole bunch of weed and I just asked one trigger question and just let him talk for 45 minutes, and I'd be like, oh, yeah.
No,
like,
100%.
This is cool as shit.
Yeah, like the way that he is able to describe things, I think is phenomenal.
His speech pattern's amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's a very engrossing speech.
No, I
pattern,
think it's
but-
great. For that side of things, outside of that, like one of my favorite things is like in the financial world is Graham Stephan.
Okay.
Hardcore like YouTuber
Yeah.
kind of guy.
Yeah.
But like on point with all of his shit whenever it comes to finances. So anyone who's interested in finances, Graham Stephan, phenomenal.
So, I have two. Serious conversation about like science and technology. Lex Friedman. I would love to listen to that guy. He's, in my opinion, one of the most brilliant fucking minds that are available today. Like, that guy is fucking so smart, man. He's like Elon level fucking weirdo intelligence, right? Like, and it's like jazz, but minus dick jokes.
Yeah.
It's like just like super smart, but
So why does Neil not do?
so Neil does, and I'm not going to say the same thing as
Have you seen that though?
What?
Like Neil and Lex not doing podcast?
Yeah,
You've seen that like secret beef?
yeah. Well, they have some weird like.
I've been able to
disagreements
figure it out.
Neil
about-
doesn't like being called out.
and it's about AI, right? It has something to do with AI.
It's mostly comes down to, and a lot of it as actually reflected in Neil's speech pattern. And the reason that he slows his speech pattern down and keeps the inflection on what he's stating is that he does not give you information. He informs you of why he's right with every statement that he makes. So
Okay.
Neil doesn't like being called out on whether or not his theory, or because you need to keep in mind that he's an astrophysicist and that he dabbles in theoretical physics.
Yeah.
But we can't prove most astrophysics. We are taking known laws of physics and then we are applying them to the behaviors that we see within astronomy.
It's mostly just
So
Newtonian.
it's still theoretical.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with theoretical is the idea of theory is that this is something that can be tested and then proven wrong.
Right.
But he's made his career on being right.
Yeah.
So anytime somebody that comes along that can go, he's got a good theory, or he follows this theory that on paper is correct. However, there is argumentative theories against that.
Yeah.
And this is why he might be wrong. And that's where that comes from.
and that's why I like.
Because he's made his millions on being correct.
That's why I would pick Lex Friedman, because I like the way that guy talks and explains things. One, he breaks it down for dummies like me, but two, you could just tell. I was like, it's like his perspective is factual. Like it's like he's non-bias about fucking anything. It's
Yeah.
just,
And
these are facts that I know.
the prime
Bam.
example of why Neil has a I am right and you were wrong, and here's all the reasons you're fucking wrong, is when he explained why he doesn't use a phone case. And it was essentially explaining to you why the fuck you are less of a human because you use a phone case.
Yeah.
And that right there, I was like, this told me everything I need to know about your personality.
Because he fucking flips his phone around.
I play with it enough that I don't need a phone case. Well, that's great.
What does that mean?
F1 drivers are some of the best in the world, and those motherfuckers still crash.
Yeah, they
Like,
still
there's
wear-
a reason
they
they
still
put a
wear
cage
seatbelts.
around
They
their
definitely have bumpers.
Yeah,
right?
like-
Like, that's
so
yeah, fucking right on, man. Yeah. And then like I have a fun one as well. Tom Segura. I'd like to have a podcast with Tom Segura where like I can just like
I'd like a chance to have a beer with Tom Segura.
Right,
I don't
well,
even need to interview you.
I would like to interview him where he's not getting interrupted by Bert Kreischer constantly. You know, so like that would be a big one for me. Like,
I would like to drink with Bert.
oh, I would drink my fucking face off with Bert, 100%.
Yeah.
But I would like to have a conversation about comedy and like, you know, experiences and things like that with Segura. Yeah.
All right. So I have two. One, I need the audience to help me with. I want JT from Black Rifle Coffee to be on this podcast.
Don't worry, he'll text you next week, and then
I've been trying for months. So tag JT.
Yeah. Tag him. Tag him.
Yeah. Tag him, the Freedom Friends podcast, JT. Like, come on, let's do this.
I tell you, he asked me to take him hog hunting, him, Jack, and Caleb.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
trade
If
him.
that happens before he is on this show, I'm going to have words.
No, you just gotta bring all of them here,
Yeah.
and then we do a show, and then
And then we go. Yeah. We have about a bottle of Jack, and then we go.
I'm
hog
going to
hunting.
need a Hero Sports guide. I'm just saying.
I'm in. I know the properties you're going to.
Yeah. All right.
Number two. God, who would it be? I don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
You have
I think-
no one interesting that you would like to have a
Well,
conversation with?
I
an
would like to
interview?
have a conversation with a couple of people. Like Putin would be a fun one.
That's a good pull,
If
actually.
you could get Putin without his security detail,
No.
like if they could stand outside and we can hang out
They
in
can
here.
stand in here. I don't give a shit.
Like, I would have the
But,
conversation.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go vodka for vodka with you, and we're gonna talk about shit.
Oh my god! Imagine being the only podcast in the world where Putin gets blackout shit faced on it,
Oh,
because you know he can't fucking keep up.
and we're gonna
There's no way.
we're gonna start with dick jokes, and it's gonna escalate into why are you an asshole?
yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
why do you need this?
Crimea. Isn't that important, bro?
This is when you find out that he's not an asshole. He's
He's
like,
just
"Oh,
like-
he's
he's like,
actually a
"Fuck,
really
this
good
guy's
fucking
cool."
guy.
he like turns it around and he's like, no, you're an asshole. Well, if I
You
am an
drink too
asshole.
much vodka, give
No.
you a mustache.
I don't know, but that would be an interesting poll. Probably
That would be an interesting poll. Yeah.
Yeah.
John?
No, I don't know. I really don't. Like, there's James is like, pick me. I mean, there's like the typical go-tos, like, oh, I want to have Biden on the fucking podcast. Let me have Trump on the podcast. Like, I really don't give a fuck about sitting down and have a conversation with them, because it's all going to be bullshit. Like, you're never going to get a true answer out of any of those fucks.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people I'd love to have conversations with if there was no cameras around.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, if
Because
they
I think
know
you
this is getting
I think you get a
recorded,
real conversation. But as
No.
soon as we turn cameras on,
yeah, it's all fake.
you're just getting a character. You're not getting them.
So like famous people that I'd like to have a conversation with, I mean, on a show recorded, getting broadcasted, fuck, that's hard. You know, because like I'm going to ask questions and they're not going to answer. They're going to give me a fucking, a typed out statement.
You know who I think would actually
PR
be
people
super
give.
fun? Because cameras on or off, I feel like you're getting the exact same fucking person. He's a fucking super celebrity and shit. It's Mark Cuban.
That would be a good
I would
conversation.
love to have a
Okay.
conversation
That's a
with
good
Mark
poll, dude.
Cuban.
Yeah.
You know who I'm interested in lately is Jim Carrey.
God,
Okay.
the more that unfolds about that man with his like hiatus and what he did in that
Yeah.
gap,
Yep.
the more that's coming out about
And-
that, it's just
and then
like,
he's
what
like-
the fuck?
Like kind of religious now, and like
yeah.
he went from being super funny to like serious as shit. And
Well, he was, but he always had the chops to be a really good dramatic actor.
Yeah.
And then it's just, but
you never know that from Once Bitten in 1983.
it's a good fucking movie.
It's his first movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. But
It's a fucking fun
Yeah.
movie.
Mark Cuban, I'd
It's a
love to have
vampire
a conversation with somebody like Mark Cuban.
You know I'd have on, but nobody else could be here. Kira.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Her and I would just sit here and we'd talk.
Yeah.
And
That would
everything would be good.
I would. No, that's it. That's the most interesting. I would be the most interested.
Just put her in that chair and just let her sit
What
there.
does Gary have to say?
But nobody can be here. Just like Mikey consistently tells me that as soon as everybody leaves, Kira's like, Jesus Christ, they were here forever.
Yeah,
And she
right.
finally
Like,
speaks.
Like right now, I know what she wants,
Yeah.
and it's like
It's right there on the plate.
She's whispering it. She's like, meat. Just give me some, dude.
I gave her a piece earlier today.
Oh, well, no wonder she's here. Fine.
Yeah.
Like,
She was sleeping on the couch too.
She deserves it.
She was
Mark Cuban's a fucking good pull, man.
I'd love to have a conversation with that guy.
And who's the other guy on Shark Tank? The bald dude.
O'Leary.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He recently came out and he was being interviewed on, it was like on CNN or something. And he was like, California's fucking uninvestable anymore.
Well,
Like you can't invest in California, New York, Illinois, any of these. And he goes, because you guys have made it so fucking crazy to have a business in these places. He's like, you want to know where I would like to start a business? North Dakota. Yeah, that's what he said. He was like, North Dakota, because you guys, he goes, I won't open a business in California again.
Yeah.
And this is a guy from fucking Shark Tank. This is a fucking multi-millionaire, touching on billions, I believe, close to it. Then he's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You guys have made it terrible. But his perspective and the way he said it so tactfully, he basically was like, hey, California, you're all fucked up. Go fuck yourself. But he didn't say it like that. And it was just super tactful. And I was like, this fucking guy gets it, man. Like this guy could like I wouldn't mind have a conversation with him. Yeah, about business and about ethics when it comes to business and things.
I've liked
like
a lot
that.
of what Mark Cuban had to say, even before the Shark Tank days and stuff like that. When they would interview him, either like after games or just in business and stuff like that. It just,
What do you guys think about Gary Vee?
I think he's fake. I don't know.
You guys know who that is?
There's
Yeah.
just too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It's too much effort.
It's a lot.
It's too much of every time you
I
talk
mean,
to him. It's just buzzword after fucking buzzword after
everything he
fucking buzzword.
says is like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. Yeah, that
Do you
makes
guys
sense.
know what he does besides social media videos?
No. Nothing.
He's feeding to the
he's a
people
garage
who
sale
are
picker.
in the up and coming who
Okay.
haven't started yet.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I know like his media agency is, I mean, they do stuff with like Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
other big businesses and things like that.
Mr. Beast would be a good one. I wouldn't mind having Jimmy on the show.
That would just be fun because I feel like it would turn into like something.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna do blah blah blah. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
But you know what? But he would. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think that if it would be something so fucking good for like our community and things that are fucking near and dear to us. Like I think it would be fucking
Well, we have connections like Sean Matson, Zach Bell.
yeah
They've all been on his fucking videos.
Oh, really?
yeah
I don't know.
yeah.
So, I mean, he wouldn't be that hard of a pull.
yeah.
I don't know, man.
No, he's done a bunch of small media stuff before.
That's
Yeah.
true. He just did the food critic dude from Vegas, the black kid that fucking
It's because it reviewed his food.
he did, but
And that's like one of the big things.
Well,
Yeah.
before they reviewed his food, they did like a couple other small, because his
Yeah,
name's
and-
Keith Lee.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
always
But if
says,
that dude like shouts out those small businesses, they see these like massive bumps in
Exactly.
numbers. And I
Yeah.
think that's why Mr. Beast got involved was he was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, you're actually like impacting
yeah,
people's lives.
and he
So
really
we're
is, man.
good.
I like that guy's content. I think he's super cool. I mean, everything's a 9.5, but still, I think he's
Yeah. So,
real
well,
cool.
but I mean, it's cool. You know, he tries it out and he's like, fucking great. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's some guys out there that just have they really unique perspectives on stuff. And one of the things that I like about like Cuban is he's done it. Like, what's he going to do? Go higher? Like, I mean, it's at this
Right.
point, it's just getting bigger doesn't change anything for him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
he's-
even before he reached that billionaire status, he was still like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Like me or don't like me, I'm still just going to go make my moves. And that's the big thing is the celebrity came later because he just kept doing his own thing. He didn't bank on celebrity being his success. And I think that's what I probably like so much about him is
Yeah.
there's so many other people that they did well, got big enough that the celebrity then became their focus. And Mark Cuban never really relied on I'm a celebrity now, so I can just do what I want. he was like, I did whatever the fuck I want to beforehand.
Yeah,
and
you
now,
can do whatever you wanted before.
Well, it's
he's a
because
celebrity.
he made the money before the celebrity.
yeah, which allowed him to do that. But I mean, based on what he said, he is definitely not worried about maintaining the whole like celebrity status. Or that whole like, well, I've got to make sure I'm being PR enough.
Well, they take away his celebrity
maintain
status
it.
tomorrow. What changes for him?
Nothing.
Fuck all.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about being famous.
Yeah.
I don't want to be known. I don't want to be recognized places. It's just fucking annoying.
Speaking of that, big shout out to the listener that I ran into at Bucky's just outside of Waco. As I was walking by him with a C4 in my hand on my phone, and as he passes me, the only thing he says is "freedom the fuck on," and I was like, "What?"
I'm more upset that you didn't stop by and say hi to me.
We were on a fucking mission to get back here to San Antonio. It was on the way back from
that's
DFW
a long, painful drive from DFW to here.
after a long weekend of
Debauchery.
drinking.
No, you know, someone, Jazz, that's kind of in your wheelhouse that I would like to have a conversation with as far as directors go of movies, would be Francis Ford Coppola. Like, have you ever heard him like talk about like film and like like I've never heard anybody talk about anything that passionate, right? Like that dude fucking loves what he does.
What is he
To
doing?
the point where
He's a director.
He directed The Godfather, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
I've never heard of this guy.
Francis Ford Coppola?
Oh,
What?
that's
he's
not the world I live
one of the
in.
greatest directors of all time in many people's fucking circles.
You want a hot take?
Hmm.
He was one of the greatest directors of all time.
Okay.
Honestly, post Godfather, he's
He made Godfather too.
okay, whatever. Take the whole Godfather story.
didn't know
There was a
Was it two?
Godfather too.
It's actually
three of them.
Arguably, but we don't talk about the third. Arguably better than the first, man.
But I mean, it's I mean, it wouldn't be bad. There's some guys out there that I think are just as passionate about film and its craft that have had a longer run and arguably a wider impact than he has.
Sure. I'm just saying, I heard him talk about it once.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy fucking loves what he does.
Well, I mean, Tarantino's in the same vein.
Which would
Tarantino's
also
obsessive.
be a cool interview. Yeah.
Tarantino's obsessive.
You know who I'd like to interview, and for reasons that are not obvious, would be Tom Cruise, and it would be solely on the ownership of a P-51 Mustang.
Yeah.
Would be the only thing I talk to him about. Like
So
that would
dope.
be it.
I'd want to talk to him about Xenu.
I don't
That's
give
just
a
me. And I was like, let's talk about Xenu, dude. Like, come on.
No, like he just pops up in the weirdest places. So it's like I've been watching that Drive to
He's only
Survive.
this tall.
Well, I've been watching Drive to Survive, which I've been watching it for like 5 years, which is the F1 documentary on Netflix that they do after the end of every F1 season.
Yep.
Well, the last season played, and all of a sudden, like they're doing the episode where they're racing in Britain, and he's just like in the fucking like in the Bay Area for one of the major teams, and I was like, what the fuck is he doing there? And like we've looked into it, and shit. He has nothing to do with the team, nothing,
Just
whatever.
hanging out.
He just. Well, apparently a couple days before that, he had done F1 dogfighting and did this invite to like have the drivers come out to do dogfighting in F1 cars. And that like scored him an invite into the Mercedes fucking pit. And he's just like fucking hanging out. And I was like,
Yeah, but if you're Tom Cruise, you can hang out with whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I see a lot of people telling him no.
Yeah.
well, but that's the thing, right? Is that you look at F1 teams and it's like, they're all worth billions. I mean, it's not like it's all of a sudden like, oh shit, he's going to change the sport if he's hanging out. It's like, yeah, no, he can disappear tomorrow and that sport's still worth fucking billions of dollars.
Very true.
And you're talking about 10 teams. There are only 10 teams in the F1. That's it. There's 20 cars, 10 teams. Each team has 2 cars. Billions of dollars. Tom Cruise is just another face in the field of celebrities that go to that fucking thing. And I was like, why are you here? Because like everybody goes.
Right.
And now there's 3 in the US. And like when they did Miami, the people that showed up to the Miami race, it was all A-list.
Yeah.
And they all drove their cars. There was, they said something like it was like 400 million in personal owned vehicles that were outside because everybody brought their supercars and shit.
Jesus.
So yeah, I'm sorry, but it's not like, well, it's because it's Tom Cruise, and it's like, okay, like one team could buy out the entire estate of fucking Tom Cruise, and it wouldn't matter. That's one team, and that's probably the poor team. Like,
So why do you think he was there?
it looks like it was literally he showed up, did that dogfight thing, and Hamilton, who's the driver of drivers in F1, missed the race, the dogfight thing, because later in the year he did an interview. He was like, if there's another dogfight, there's no way I'm missing that. I guess Hamilton was like, hey, do you want to come fucking hang out? And that's how it got, because you can tell that the team principal was just like annoyed that he was there, because Tom's just sitting there like asking all these fucking questions, and the guy's like, yeah, there was a wreck. Okay, fucking Jesus.
He's like, I'm trying to fucking work, man. Fuck off. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just weird, like the places he pops up, and it's just like, the fuck are you doing here?
It's PR at the end of the day.
Yeah, but the thing is that there was no publication about it until that documentary came out.
Right. I mean,
And it was just like, what the fuck? So
Well,
it was just weird.
Maybe he's just a huge fucking F1 fan.
He's just a fan of going fast, which I think is probably why he was there. Is it was just like, well, I own really fast bikes, really fast cars. Now I own a P-51. I've flown in jets and shit. Like, how fast can I go on land? And it was like, well, F1's kind of, that's kind of the pinnacle.
pinnacle
So,
of speed.
so
Yeah.
I think it was just a speed obsession, which is one of the things that I like about him. It would be super cool.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting, the places that he just randomly just kind of
shows up at.
yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? I also like that he's always just in a t-shirt.
I do appreciate that. Yeah.
Like, it's just
he's like,
Well, I mean, with that name, you don't need anything more than that.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's true. All right. Well, fucking A.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark Cuban, I guess, to wrap it all up. Tom Cruise is a good pull.
Who would you interview?
Well, he said Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil Tyson.
Nobody else?
No.
What would be the questions? Because that was the other half of Justin's question is what would you ask him?
Mine would be how you prioritize your projects with Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
I forgot who I was going to interview.
I don't remember either.
Penis.
Yeah. How do you go into those dark places all the time?
Yeah.
Anytime you want to talk to my dick, we can make that work. It's going to be a short conversation, though.
It'll end happy.
Yeah, I just want to know what kind of cake on all of them.
Cupcakes.
You can't sit on a cupcake. That's weird.
Why not?
Nobody said I was sitting on a cupcake.
Because remember, the rule is they both got to finish. No problem finishing a cupcake.
But then what do you do for the rest of the time?
Fucking grin and bear it and cuddle, man. Shit. Hopefully he's close to me and it's only going to take as long as for me to eat that cupcake. That's a good idea. Ice cream cupcakes might be the fucking answer.
Coming soon.
Yeah. And I don't mean one of those stupid fucking boutique cupcakes too.
No.
That's like the size of your fucking head.
No, like
I just mean
homemade fucking
like a fucking
yellow cake.
funfetti, bitches.
Sandwich cupcake.
Yeah.
That you could rip the top off and sandwich it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Cream filled.
Like, share, subscribe, smash those buttons. Tell your mom.
Tell your friends.
Your fucking mom's friends. Make sure you check out grillyourassoff.com/Freedom Friends Podcast. Wellness.us. The code will be down here, I'm sure.
Freedom Friends.
Down here somewhere.
25.
Yeah, down here. Yeah.
Unless you're just listening to this, in which case it's in the
Freedom Friends
description and he's
25.
not pointing it. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're just listening, which I actually hope you're just listening because none of us are that attractive. Murph's very cute, but the rest of us are kind of.
Whereas James looks like a thumb with hair on his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
An egg with
I'm not
eyes.
even
Yeah,
sure I call
an
that
egg.
hair. It's like,
Eggland's
It's like a-
best.
looks like somebody shaved half a peach.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a linty big toe.
Right? Well, I could see that. Yeah. Fucking. It's like Uncle Fester, but he sells kratom. Fucking, yeah. Yeah. So, By the way, May 4th, there's going to be a golf tournament, and Jazz and I are going to be doing the back off challenge to be fucking golfers. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be really fun.
Tomorrow's steak is steak and BJ day.
No, that was 2 days ago because it's Friday when this comes out.
Oh,
Yeah, you
that's
time travel when you're on the show.
touche. I had a great BJ.
2 days ago, I did not get a BJ.
I'm right there with you, bud.
I probably didn't either.
It's Friday, and I'd like to report that there was no BJ on Wednesday.
Even though it's Monday.
Although,
And
James, you're in town tomorrow, right? So this can all fucking change.
I'm just going to raise my glass.
Icy Tech.
Icy Tech. Yep, Icy Tech. Use that code Freedom from Sin. And of course, we couldn't do it without them. WarfighterTobacco.com. Use that code FTFO.
Get your
Screw yourself
crayons.
that sweet, sweet 15% off. But thank you for being my freedom friend, boys.
Real quick, Jazz, you talked about your show. Where
The
can people find-
Warhammered podcast. That's my other show. If you are feeling nerdy and want to listen to me sound like an idiot while I talk about nerd shit.
You want to know what, Jazz? I've listened to your show a number of times, and I actually enjoy it.
But you have no idea what we're talking
I'm
about.
lost as fuck. I'm lost as fuck.
That sounds about right.
I'm lost as fuck, but the banter back and forth, the quick jabs, you like fucking with Big Jim as I do, which I enjoy, which I appreciate.
I like Big Jim getting fucked with.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's a good portion of the show.
It's a good
me
show.
fucking with Big Jim.
I know,
That's
and
a good portion
I'm a
of it.
fan of it. So,
But the Warhammered podcast, and I don't think we're as wide as this one, but all the big ones that matter. Fucking Spotify, Apple, and Stitcher. If you're on like Boost Mobile or whatever the fuck and can't get the rest of the, the real ones.
cricket phone.
Yeah, you can fucking
Is that
download
like
it.
prepaid shit?
Yeah, fucking whatever.
What I need y'all
Essentially,
to,
anybody that has an Android, it's
Right.
cricket phone.
Yeah.
what I need y'all to do
Is
is
Murph sleeping?
go listen to Battle to
Warhammered?
Warhammered, sorry.
Yeah.
Go listen to Warhammered and remind Jazz to get his shit on YouTube.
Oh yeah, fucking. And that's the thing is that we have like recorded it, all of it on video
Yeah.
and shit like that. And
And just not
Spotify
put
gave us
anything
video like from the rip. Yeah, I have it like all recorded on video so they could be on YouTube, and we haven't fucking done it. But I need to put it on YouTube. And then I could say it's on YouTube. But so it cannot be monetized because we. Yeah, we do not make it that far.
It took us over 3 years to make it.
Yeah,
On like
so-
4 out of the past 24 episodes.
But we'd fucking love it if you go and don't listen to it, just subscribe to it so that it shows the downloads. So that works too.
that works too. Yeah. 3 little things, boys. John,
Smoke on.
Jazz.
Drink on.
God damn it, kids.
Freedom to
to
fuck
fuck
on.
on. Later.